It had made it very awkward for them when Mr. Farolles, of St. John's, called the same afternoon. "The end was quite peaceful, I trust," were the first words he said as he glided towards them through the dark drawing-room. "Quite," said Josephine faintly. They both hung their heads. Both of them felt certain that I wasn't at all a peaceful eye. "Won't you sit down?" said Josephine. "Thank you, Miss Pinner," said Mr. Farolles gratefully. He folded his coat-tails and began to lower himself into Father's armchair, but just as he touched it he almost sprang up and slid into the next chair instead. He coughed. Josephine clasped her hands. Constantia looked vague. "I want you to feel, Miss Pinner," said Mr. Farolles, "and you, Miss Constantia, that I'm trying to be helpful. I want to be helpful to you both, if you will let me. These are the times," said Mr. Farolles, very simply and earnestly, "when God means us to be helpful to one another." "Thank you very much, Mr. Farolles," said Josephine and Constantia. "Not at all," said Mr. Farolles gently. He drew his kid gloves through his fingers and leaned forward. "And if either of you would like a little communion, either or both of you, here and now, you have only to tell me. A little communion is often very a great comfort," he added tenderly. But the idea of a little communion terrified them. What? In the drawing-room by themselves, with no altar or anything. The piano would be much too high, thought Constantia, and Mr. Farolles could not possibly lean over it with the chalice. And Kate would be sure to come bursting in and interrupt them, thought Josephine. And supposing the bell rang in the middle? It might be somebody important about their mourning. Would they get up reverently and go out, or would they have to wait, in torture? "Perhaps you will send round a note by your good Kate if you would care for it later," said Mr. Farolles. "Oh yes, thank you very much," they both said. Mr. Farolles got up and took his black straw hat from the round table. "And about the funeral," he said softly. "I may arrange that, as your dear father's old friend and yours, Miss Pinner and Miss Constantia?" Josephine and Constantia got up too. "I should like it to be quite simple," said Josephine firmly, "and not too expensive. At the same time, I should like a good one that will last," thought dreamy Constantia, as if Josephine were buying a nightgown. But, of course, Josephine didn't say that. "One suitable to our father's position." She was very nervous. "I'll run round to our good friend Mr. Knight," said Mr. Farolles soothingly. "I will ask him to come and see you. I am sure you will find him very helpful indeed."